Hi there, and welcome to Studio SN, your place for card making, rubber stamping, and paper crafting tutorials. My name is Sara Naumann, and I'm so very glad you're here. Today I want to show you how to use Fineliner pens to create simple backgrounds for your cards. And you can see this penwork background here on my card, and I think you'll notice how the colors here are gradually shifting from dark to light and in between purple and blue. This is a really simple ink blending technique. So let's take a look. I'm going to move aside my original card, but I'm going to keep in my piece of white cardstock. And this is a smooth white card. It's a pretty sturdy cardstock as well. And I'm also going to have my pens on hand. Now these are Fineliners from our friends at Chameleon, and these are pretty special pens for a couple of different reasons. So first of all, because they are a fine liner, it means that you are going to have a really super fine tip to work with. This is a 0.3 millimeter tip. And this is going to make it perfect for use with not only writing, but journaling. If you do any bullet journaling, you can also do doodling, as I've done. You can also use these to draw with, of course, and they work beautifully with stencils as well. So there are lots of different creative techniques you can do with these. Now, the other thing that is cool about them is that they have a dual ink system. So they have ink in the barrel of the pen, as you might expect, but they also have ink in the pen cap. This means that you can swap the tops of your pens between each other and then create some really cool blending effects. Now, it's an easier process to show than to explain, so I'm going to demonstrate this for you. Now, for my original card, I used a blue and a purple pen, but this will give you a really subtle effect. And I thought for this demonstration, I could use some colors that are a little bit higher contrast, and I could also bring in more than two colors because you can do this technique with several pens. So I'm going to be working with yellow. I also grabbed a red, and then I've got a brown here as well. Now with all of the pens, you're going to have, of course, the number of the pen. This is YL2, the yellow. I have it on the cap. I also have it on the barrel of the pen, and this is going to come in handy as you're swapping those tops and taking them off and on. So what I'm going to do is start out, I've got my yellow pen, I'm going to take off the cap, same with the red, just set that aside, and then also the brown too. So I've got all three pens ready to go and the caps ready to go. I'm going to be working with the yellow pen as my main pen. This is what I'm going to be drawing with. So I can set aside the other two pens and my yellow cap. Now what I'm going to do is take the red cap and I'm going to put it onto the yellow pen. And I'm going to hold it up for just a second and let that pen ink kind of flow down a little bit. I'm going to take off that cap, and then I'm going to take the brown cap and put this onto the yellow pen. And again, just kind of hold it up there. And then take off the cap, and then I can start my doodling or drawing or writing or whatever it is that you want to do. So I'm just doing a swoopy line here, and I think you can see that this has gone from brown, which was the last cap color I used, and then it flows into kind of an orange before it goes into the red, and then all the way back into the yellow. Now, if you were worried, like I was at first, that this technique would contaminate your lighter colors, it doesn't, because take a look. Now my yellow pen is completely light yellow, so no contamination on that. And then all I need to do, of course, remember to get the right caps back onto the right pens, and I'm ready to use this as my background. So again, you can use as many different pen colors as you want to. I think the most I've done is probably 5 or 6, but you can take it even further if you want to. Now, the blending time can be lengthened in between colors, just depending on how long you have that pen cap onto its host pen, if you will. So the longer you let them sit together, the longer blending time you will have. So you can do some simple doodling like I've done. You can also do just plain drawing. So I just freehand drew these lines, and this is using the blue and the purple pens. You could also use a ruler, of course, if you wanted to. One way I like to use these is just to do a big scribbly circle, and this was with some yellows and greens. So I've got shades of light and dark green in here, and I just kind of went around and around and use some stickers to hide the stopping and starting points on there. You can also use these with stencils, and this is of course with a word stencil, but these also work really well with stencils that are geometric shapes, so dots or squares or lines, some background stencils too. So there are lots of different things that you can do with these. And again, here is my original card with that really simple doodling on there. There's really no right or wrong way to get that kind of swirly effect. And I've done another card project as well using the same technique. This is just a different orientation of cards, so you can do it vertically or horizontally. Now the die cuts that I've got here as my sentiments, these are from Creative Expressions, and this is part of their Borderline collection. And so you've got some layering possibilities here with these dies. And I think because this is such a clean and graphic background that you can have a really clean and simple sentiment on there to add to the card. And then just some simple rhinestones on there and a little bit of ribbon as well. Now I've used these for Christmas cards, but of course you can use them for just about any card occasion. They work for just about any theme as well. So this is how you can use your Chameleon pens with some simple blending techniques to create really fun graphic backgrounds. Thank you so much for joining me today on Studio SN. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe to Studio SN on YouTube, and I'll keep you updated on the very latest stamping and card making videos. In the meantime, please feel free to stop by my website, saranaumann.com, for more paper crafting ideas. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you next week.